So something I learned relatively recently is that this guy, otherwise known as CrankGameplays, otherwise known as Ethan, otherwise known as Markiplier's blue friend and editor. Despite the fact that he lives in LA now, he is originally from a place that is about maybe like a half an hour from where I live, which is really cool. So I was obviously very excited when he said he was coming back to Maine for the holidays to visit his family and would probably be doing a meetup. He said it would be at the Maine Mall and assumed that there would be maybe around 15-20 people. I showed up with my friend Sophie about an hour before it was meant to actually start. My girlfriend was also supposed to be there, but her mom's car broke down, so she couldn't make it. When we showed up, there were about 10 people there, and as the hour went on, a lot more people showed up. Eventually, about 10 minutes before the meetup was actually meant to start, about 200 people were right in the middle of the main mall. Suddenly, a couple mall cops come out of nowhere, come into the crowd, come up to me, and ask if I was in charge. I can only assume that this was because I was dressed the most grandiosely, and also was the tallest. And I said, sure. I really don't know why. I've narrowed it down to two reasons. Either I thought it would be an interesting story to tell later, which it is, or I realized that someone needed to be in charge of all these people. Don't know why I thought it should be me. Either way, they told us that we really needed to leave because they couldn't deal with having all of these people just sitting in the middle of the mall. So Sophie and I did our best to move people to the parking lot, which is where Ethan said that we would move if they did kick us out. And as we're walking to the parking lot through Best Buy, I start to realize that there wasn't any room in the parking lot at all. As I pondered this, another security guard walks up to me and asks if I'm in charge. And at this point, I just said, I guess so, because I guess I was at this point. We started talking about how I needed to get everyone out, which I was doing already, and then suddenly he talks on his little radio and says, just like, I'm talking to the ringleader now. Suddenly, in that moment, it felt a bit more real. Like, they really think I'm the one that is orchestrating all of this. As I was trying to tweet to Ethan what was going on, the guard told us that if we didn't either disperse or leave the property, they could call the cops and take people for criminal trespassing, which terrified Sophie and I, because they think I'm in charge. So what would they do to us? Once outside, we tried to either tell people to disperse and stop being a large crowd, or just get off the property of the mall in general. We couldn't even be in the parking lot, even if there were space. Which, of course, no one wanted to do that. They wanted to stay and meet Ethan, which I totally get. I've done that before, but it was at, like, PAX East, not, like, a random mall in the middle of nowhere. Eventually, Ethan did show up. He decided to move the meetup to a park, which, you saw that in the video. I even appeared in that video. I was wearing this hat. It was really great. Sophie didn't come along to the park. She was just so stressed out from what had happened. But she did a lot to help me, and probably did more than I did, so thanks, Sophie, if you're watching this, which you probably are. And that's the story of how I almost got arrested trying to meet CrankGameplays. Despite in the video he made, I asked for an apology. I'm not upset with him at all, like, that I realized how horrible that sounded later to ask for an apology from him. But I'm really not upset by this at all. It's a really fun story to tell now, and I had a really great time at the meetup. I made some friends. Hi, Jessie. She's a friend I made there, and wanted me to make this video. So here we are. I had a really good time. I got to meet him, even though it was a bit cold, and it was super fun. So hopefully he'll do something like that in the future. Maybe not at the mall. Don't need a repeat of that. Thank you for watching this video. It really means a lot to me. If you could maybe subscribe, I would appreciate that. I mean, you don't have to. And be sure to dislike this video if you absolutely hated it. I'm not sure if that was on the right side or not. Be sure. Bye.